What's going on, traders? We got a lot to talk about in this video, but before we start, like, subscribe, comment your thoughts below. Let's get into the video. So, I didn't make a video last night simply because honestly, I was locked into Valorant. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm gonna be completely honest. I was locked in. But we are back, and I do want to discuss a little bit of what happened yesterday. Now, I want you guys to get perspective here. I want you guys to get clear understanding on how the market works. One of the main rules with the market, as far as being bullish and bearish, and I'm sure we all heard it before: staircase up, elevator down. One more time: staircase up, elevator down. Why am I saying this? Yesterday in the Discord, I continuously said, and even today I said, I did not like the move yesterday. I didn't trust it. We were moving way too fast in one day. Not even just one day. Like at market open, the first 30 minutes, the NASDAQ moved like 400 points. That's not normal, guys. Even pre-market, the market was like NASDAQ was moving insanely fast. That is not normal. All right. That is not a normal move. And moves like that should worry any trader. Okay. So we got to start using common sense. We got to start realizing that some things just seem too good to be true. And yesterday seemed way too good to be true. Now, don't get me wrong. If you made profit yesterday, I'm sure yesterday was great for day traders and scalpers. But we have to remain cautious. And I've been saying this in the past few videos that we have to remain cautious. The NASDAQ making an 800-point move in one day is not normal. Again, elevator down, staircase up. And yesterday, the elevator was going up. That's not normal. All right. So hopefully we got that point across. Now, in my last few videos, I've been saying that despite the NASDAQ and the triple Qs and how the SPY looks, despite them looking like they want to bounce, other stocks just do not look good. So I'm not going to get too deep into the NASDAQ, but as you guys can see right now, we are still in our channel. Okay. We're still in our channel here. Things still look okay for now. We're still looking safe for now. And I can't say for sure if we're going to bounce from here. We may get somewhat of a dead cat bounce tomorrow. That seems to be the theme lately, where one day we're bullish, the next day we give it all back, the next day we're bullish again, and the next day we give it all back. So it seems like everybody just keeps getting trapped, or the market makers keep trapping everybody within this market. So I will say, and I will continue to say, to be very careful. Now, again, we're still in this channel. Things look fine. If you're new to the channel and you don't understand what I'm talking about, as far as the YouTube channel, this channel right here, we bounced here, we bounced here, we bounced here, and so far we're bouncing here, and we're heading back to the bottom of this channel as well. So still safe if you want to be bullish. We look at the ES. ES, pretty much the same thing. We pretty much rejected this weekly supply and demand zone up here. So as soon as we hit this weekly supply and demand zone, let's actually zoom in. As soon as we hit this weekly supply and demand zone, we reject it. All right. That's when the sell off began. All right. As soon as we hit the top of the supply and demand zone at about 5,600, the market immediately started to go ballistic to the downside. And we're still in this channel. All right. We're still in this channel. But I want you guys to keep in mind, this is a weekly supply and demand zone, a very, very strong zone. We will need very, very good news in order to break above this. And right now, we're just not getting that good news. Even Apple earnings, despite its beating, it didn't do anything. Okay. So again, we're still in this channel, completely fine, right? We look at the SPY. Now, the SPY is a little bit different here. It's below its channel, all right? And I adjusted as much as I could. I was trying to make sure maybe my trends are off, maybe the channel is off. Nope, everything is connected so far. Right here, you bounced here, you bounced here, you bounced here, and then you zoom in, and this is when bears got trapped. We made a double bottom, and our neckline was at what, about 548. And I told you guys, if we break above 548, we're heading to 552. We pretty much head to 554. We tried to head towards 556. We didn't quite get there. We got about 554.9, 555 range, and then we immediately sold off. And again, just like I showed you guys on the ES, we rejected this weekly supply and demand zone. This is when the sell-off began. We created a lower high. Okay, so again, things look okay-ish, but they don't look great for bulls. Okay, I will say that much. So again, proceed with caution. We look at the triple Qs. Triple Qs is looking just like the NASDAQ. All right, same thing as far as the NASDAQ goes. We're still in our channel. Things look completely fine for now, right? And actually, the triple Qs dropped to 456 after hours, so that's not too good. That might be just a little bit below this channel. If the triple Qs gives up 455, we're heading to 450. All right, I will say that much. Right now, the triple Qs is down about 3-4 points, so it could get ugly tomorrow if we just so happen to get a below 455. So keep an eye out on that. But for now, I'm going to assume we're still in this channel and things look okay for now. All right. Regardless of things looking okay, still be cautious, guys. It just doesn't look safe to pretty much play any calls right now. I will say that much. We look at Bitcoin. Now, Coin does have earnings, and I don't know if they're reported yet. They seem like they're just not reporting or whatever the case may be. There's no news on if they're going to report. They're supposed to report today. Maybe it got postponed. I don't know. But Coin does have earnings, and I told you guys in my last video that I think Bitcoin is going to drop further down. Right now, Bitcoin is below 65K. I think it's going to head towards 60K. That is my first price target. After that, you're looking at a move towards 57K, and the lowest you're looking at as far as short term is about 52K. 52K is back on the table until Bitcoin gets back above 70,500. Simple as that. Again, Coin does have to report earnings. I don't know if Coin earnings is going to like really move Bitcoin. I'm not sure. I never paid attention to like how strong that correlation is. I do know they correlate with each other, but I just don't know how earnings affects Bitcoin. Okay, so pay attention to that. Again, I'm not sure if they reported. Let's actually check. Yeah, it seems like there's no signs of them reporting yet. So speaking of Coin, Coin looks bearish. Okay, Coin looks bearish. So in my last video, I told you guys, last two videos actually, I've been telling you guys that despite how good futures or how okay or good the futures and ETFs look, the stocks themselves, such as big tech, they don't look good at all. Even the stocks that reported good earnings, such as Meta and AMD, and we'll get into that in a bit. But if we're looking at Coin, look at what Coin is doing. It's been in this channel for a while and it's currently breaking below it. And right now, after hours, even when we're talking about Bitcoin, Bitcoin is retesting 65K, and I think it's going to reject from there. But even right now, Coin is simply retesting the bottom of this channel and rejecting it. All right, so looks pretty bearish. Right now, I have a price target on Coin as far as 160. Between 180 and 160, I think Coin can drop. Whether earnings causes that is up in the air. I could be wrong. Maybe earnings saves today, but right now, Coin looks extremely bearish. Okay, just like Bitcoin. So Bitcoin does drop to 60K. I do expect Coin to do the exact same thing. You guys see, I'm not making this up. We bounced here, bounced here, bounced here, rejected up here, rejected up here. You guys get the idea. And right now, we're breaking below, and we're simply retesting the bottom of this channel. Again, I'm not sure if Coin's going to report earnings today. It says it will, but I don't know. It's pretty much the market's pretty much closed, so I don't know. But regardless, we'll see. Meta. So Meta reported good earnings, and that's fine. I mean, it had a surprise beat. It went all the way up to about 530, close to 530, and then it immediately rejected. Now, this is a weekly supply and demand zone. We're looking at the daily time frame, and right now it broke below this daily supply and demand zone. I think Meta is going to fill this gap, and I told you guys in the last video, I still stand by this. I think Meta is going to head towards the low 400s. My first price target is about 450, and then we could see a move to 420. All right, simple as that. But right now, despite how these stocks are beating earnings, they're still looking bearish. Right now, we're looking at the weekly time frame on Meta. Look what happened here. So far, I mean, the week isn't over. Okay, I will say that much. Maybe we just break above 530, 535, and head higher on Meta tomorrow. I doubt it, but given what we've seen the past 2 days, it is possible. But right now, Meta is breaking below, or not breaking, but currently on the weekly time frame, this weekly candle right here is rejecting the weekly supply and demand zone. And if we get back below this trend, I would say around 480, Meta is going to break much lower. All right. Let's look at AMD. Because I know everyone thought AMD was going to save the day, it was going to save the market, and Nvidia was going to save the market. I want to make something clear here. Nvidia has lost all its power the moment it did a stock split. It just doesn't have the potential to carry the market anymore. After that stock split, it's pretty much done. Is Nvidia great? Sure. Is it a good stock? Sure. Okay. But as far as carrying the market power, I don't think it has that potential anymore until maybe it reports its next earnings. But let's look at AMD. AMD beat its earnings. It had great earnings expectations, right? But it was still looking bearish in my opinion. And I know everyone was hyped in the Discord, was talking about it, but it was still looking bearish. It just still wasn't looking good. Now, it had this ascending triangle on a weekly time frame, and it already made its projected move as far as this ascending triangle. So all it did on a weekly time frame was pretty much make a lower high. And now I'm expecting it to make a lower low once it breaks below this ascending triangle. All right. So something to pay attention to here. I just AMD pretty much went to what about 150 and rejected. Okay, that was it. It went to 150. It didn't even get above this weekly supply and demand zone for earnings. So I wasn't convinced. Everyone was happy. They thought, AMD's going to save everybody. And there's just no signs of it being bullish despite its earnings beat. It went to 150, immediately rejected 150 the next day. Simple as that. It gave most of its earnings move back, if not all of it. So right now, AMD's at 131. That is a key level. I believe I mentioned this last video. If I didn't, then correct me if I'm wrong. But 131, I think AMD can head towards 120 if semiconductors continue to drop. I believe Intel had bad earnings, so that could affect semiconductors. We'll have to see on that. But right now, AMD doesn't look good. IWM, I told you guys about IWM. IWM I went all the way to about 228 and then immediately rejected. I told you guys about our 200 September puts and then the 220 puts as well. We closed those early, so we took a minor loss on those, but the 200 puts we are still in for September 30th. I think IWM is going to continue to head lower. If anything, it could head towards this gap fill at around 211 to 13 range, and then we'll see what happens from there. But IWM looks like it's rejecting. That's all I have to say about that. Okay, everything looks like it's really bearish right now, or wants to be bearish. Let's talk about Netflix. Netflix. I told you guys about Netflix. I said Netflix can head towards 600. After that, I'm looking at a move towards the supply and demand zone down here towards 580. Netflix doesn't look good. Look at this rising channel that it's in. It broke out. It broke below the rising channel. We bounced here, and then we finally broke. And look what happened. We had that rally yesterday, and Netflix retested it, and now it is dropping. I think Netflix is going to continue to drop. I'm actually upset I didn't get into this trade. I didn't catch this in time, but we'll see. Hopefully, maybe we get some type of dead cat bounce tomorrow. If not, then I guess I just missed out. All right. But Netflix just doesn't look good. Tesla. Congratulations to everybody in the Discord that took the Tesla 220 puts. I made a nice $1,700, 163% on that, all in one day. Absolutely beautiful play. So congratulations to everybody in the Discord who made money off this play. But I told you guys, Tesla is bearish. All right. And right now, I was showing this in the Discord over and over that Tesla is it actually looks better on a smaller time frame. Let's see. There we go. That looks much better. But Tesla is in a bear flag. And look what happened here. It broke below this bear flag. Now it's heading towards, I told you guys in the last few videos that Tesla is going to head towards 207, 205. My first price target is 213. Pretty close. We got pretty close to it, about 215. But I expect Tesla to head much lower. We might get one more retest about maybe 225 before this thing continues to head lower. But we took profit on our 220 put. So congratulations to everybody in the Discord who got in on that play. Absolutely banger play. We got in at around 223, and then Tesla broke 222, and then from there, 223. Well, we got in at 223. It broke below this bear flag at that point, and then once the hourly candle closed below this bear flag, that was my signal to jump into puts. And absolutely beautiful play. It went down from there. Hardly any drawback from there. So congratulations once again. I think. What else? I guess we can talk about Apple. Apple just wasn't given any clear signs on where it wanted to go. So I'm not too surprised that it Ivy crushed everybody for earnings if you did play it. I didn't touch the thing. I was a little optimistic. I thought maybe it would see 230, but that wasn't enough. That wasn't a big enough move for me to want to jump into the play. But I did think maybe it can at least see 230, and yeah, it just didn't happen. So I'm not surprised by this move. It just there's no clear direction here. This is actually very hideous. This might be the ugliest head and shoulders pattern I've seen so far, but we'll see how this plays out. But right now, Apple just doesn't look good, guys. So hopefully you guys are getting the idea here that a lot of these stocks, despite how the NQ, despite how the SPY, triple Qs look, a lot of these stocks just look terrible. SOXL, I told you guys in the last video about SOXL breaking this trend, and it pretty much faked everybody out yesterday. Okay, but I told you guys about it breaking this trend. Look what happened. We bounced here, and then look what happened. We broke below this. We broke below 35. That's actually very bad. I'm just noticing this. That's actually a very bad sign. So we could retest 36 tomorrow, and this thing might head much lower. I'm trying to see where it could head. Maybe so right here is resistance. I mean, not resistance, support. So right here there's a supply and demand zone right here, so let's mark this out real quick, guys. So right here it could bounce here in this area between 32 and 27. Me personally, if I'm looking for a buying opportunity on SOXL, I would say the low 20s. I know that sounds crazy, but if you look at Nvidia got tons of gaps to the downside, so it makes sense. But low 20s, I think SOXL is an excellent buying opportunity. $20, if we ever see that, pack your bags, okay? Pack your bags. That is a beautiful buying opportunity, in my opinion. SMH. So SMH, I told you guys the same thing. It broke below this trend. I've been saying this for the past few videos. So shout out to, I know somebody mentioned it in the chat. I mean, not in the chat, but in one of my YouTube comments that they are in. They're looking at it or whatever the case may be. And I know someone else was looking at SOXL as well, but bounced here. And then I said it should bounce off this trend. It did get a bounce. It wasn't nothing crazy. It wasn't nothing spectacular. It headed towards 247.4 and then immediately rejected thanks to the market, and it just completely broke down from there. So yeah, SMH doesn't look good so far. It's holding this level here, but if it breaks below, it's actually already broken below, but if it breaks below 229, this thing is going to head much lower. I would say around 225, 220 is where it can head to next. There's a lot of turbulence in the 225 area, so I do expect maybe some turbulence there, some slow movement there before it could potentially head lower. But that's really all I have for this video, guys. I want you guys to really pay attention from here on out to how the market moves. Okay. One thing I want you guys to understand about FOMC, because I know everybody thought FOMC was super bullish, and I say this all the time. Well, I don't think I mentioned this enough on the channel. Anytime you have FOMC or Jerome Powell speaking, the initial move is usually the wrong move. What do I mean by that? If we are having FOMC on Wednesday, and let's say it's at 2 o'clock p.m., which is normally the usual time, or Jerome Powell speaking at that time, if the market is bullish heading into that event, usually the bullish move is the wrong move, and the next day ends up being very bearish. That's usually the case, majority of the time. If the market is bearish heading into that event, then you can expect the next day to be bullish. It works like clockwork. You don't believe me? Go back in time and check. It always happens, guys. The initial move is usually the wrong move. Okay, and yesterday was absolutely perfect proof of that. Because we got a bullish move heading into FOMC. Everybody thought it was great, and then what happened? The next day, the market sells off and sells off very bad. Okay, so we got to pay attention to things like that because it happens all the time. All the time, and no one catches on to these things. Okay, it's insane to me that no YouTubers, nobody catches on to these things. I've seen Discord members say it and mention it, but as far as your favorite YouTubers and things like that, they never talk about historical data. Okay, so for example, how often Mondays mirror Fridays. We've been running that historical data for months. Okay, on this channel, and I've been telling you guys, Mondays majority of the time does exactly what Friday do. And we've been right at least over 90% of the time. I would say over 95%. I think last week we missed on that one. But regardless, Mondays usually do what Fridays do. If Friday is bearish, Mondays is bearish. If Friday is bullish, Mondays is bullish. It works like clockwork. And a lot of your favorite YouTubers don't pay attention to this stuff. All right. Historical data is very, very important when you are trading in this market. I can't stress that enough. It helps you a lot. It helps me so much to remember these things. All right. So much. So that's my little rant. Discord link is in the description below. If you want to get into plays like this Tesla put, where we did 220 puts heading into tomorrow, made a quick 1K, 1K, close to 2K off of it. Absolutely beautiful play. You want plays like this? Discord link is in the description below. If you want signals sent directly to your phone, SMS, text messages sent directly to your phone, website is below. Just check out the website. It's self-explanatory. It'll say get SMS alerts, and then everything else is self-explanatory from there. But other than that, that's all I have, guys. Hopefully you got something out this video. I really appreciate the support, lately. We've gotten like 3K subscribers within the past week or so. And the view count is just going crazy. So eventually I want to do a giveaway to show, my support. I mean, not my support, but show my gratitude to you guys, because I'm noticing you guys are commenting more, and I'm trying my best to comment to everybody. I'm not getting crazy amount of comments yet, but hopefully I can, keep up. But other than that, hopefully you guys have a good trading day, a good trading week. Remain cautious, okay? Don't have a bias. And other than that, that's all I have. Until the next video, traders, have a good one.